Are you a small business owner looking to boost your revenue? If you're not using a StoryBrand sales funnel, you're missing out on a major opportunity. Hi there, I'm Mitch Meador, a 6-year StoryBrand certified guide and the owner of Branderd. I've helped tons of businesses clarify their message and attract more high-paying customers by improving their message, copywriting, websites, email marketing, and sales funnels. Let me know if this sounds familiar. So, business is going pretty good. Growing. Then suddenly it starts to level off. And more recently, it's even started to kind of come down a little bit. Well, this seems to be a trend this year. I'm able to talk to a lot of business owners through my line of work, and you're not alone. But the question is, what's happening? Is there competition in your space? Is it the stalling economy? Are you doing something to turn away customers? Many small businesses are struggling right now to convert leads into customers because buyer trust is low. I do think this has something to do with all the free money that was floating around that is now dried up, but I'm not an economist, and I don't know, comment below if you have a better idea. Here's what I know works regardless of conditions: a clear and effective sales process known as a sales funnel. Without a sales funnel, potential customers often get lost or they lose interest and your business misses out on valuable revenue. Sales funnels are about controlling the buyer's journey, the path that people take to buy from you. So let's take a second to do some marketing 101 and review the traditional buyer's journey. This is super important for understanding how sales funnels work. So the traditional buyer's journey looks something like this. A customer becomes aware of your service and they move to a purchase decision. In marketing lingo, these things are called the stimulus and the first moment of truth. And then once they purchase, then they move into the actual experience, or also known as the second moment of truth. So essentially, awareness is, think of like the old school days, because that's where this comes from. You're literally browsing a store or a magazine. You become aware of a product or service that addresses a problem that you have. You make that purchase decision, like this first moment of truth here. This could be like at the store. And the second moment of truth is like hands-on when you get home from the store, right? We often think about products like this. Even if we don't think about it, it's how we treat our marketing. This is taught in colleges until like 2010, and then the internet, specifically Web 2.0, changed everything. This happens to be exactly when I graduated from college, so I had to learn this on the streets instead of the classroom, but that's probably better anyway. Let's take a look at the modern buyer's journey that is more applicable to today. So you probably are realizing that this is missing a step. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to clear this out, and we're going to start over. So remember that we've got awareness, and we've got the first moment of truth and the second moment of truth. But before we get to that first moment of truth, these days there's something known as the zero moment of truth. And I'm just going to shorten it to MOT. So a lot of times it's called ZMOT. As I'm sure you're well aware, in both B2B and B2C contexts, people extensively research online before purchasing. It doesn't even really need to be that expensive of a product. If you're going to make a purchase, you typically go online and research it first. A lot of times you're buying it online, so of course you are right there anyways. But just imagine you're going to make a purchase tomorrow of a budgeting software or budgeting app. Would you just buy it, or would you search online for your options? You'd search, right? You'd Google it, and you'd start opening some tabs of sites that match your needs. Then you'd close the ones that don't make sense or don't fit until you find the one that you want. 81% of business to consumer customers conduct online research before making a purchase, whether online or in store. So people that are buying actual products from a company, 81% are doing research online. This involves looking up product details, comparing prices, reading reviews, but it's even more stunning when you get to business. A whopping 94% of B2B buyers research online before making a purchase. They use search engines, business websites, and third-party sites to gather information. How well your business is doing is directly tied to how seriously you take the research phase, or ZMOD. So the other two phases, they don't go away. You still have the first moment of truth, which is the purchase, and the second moment of truth, which is the experience. But what we're really focusing on here is this zero moment of truth, the research phase. If you want to stop losing customers in this phase and instead own the whole customer journey, you need a sales funnel. So let's lay out what a sales funnel looks like. First up is awareness. In this stage, a person becomes aware of your business or your product. Notice this is the same as the business models we looked at before. And they can become aware in a variety of ways. For this, it doesn't really matter. It could be organic content, search engines, ads, recommendations from a friend. There's so many ways. The important thing to know is that this is where you grab their attention with a compelling message that addresses their problems. This is a fundamental StoryBrand principle, to talk about their problems. I'm not going to get too much into StoryBrand itself because I cover that in a ton of other videos. This is really sales funnel centric. But if you want to learn more about StoryBrand, Building a StoryBrand by Donald Miller is a great place to start, or you can just check out some of the content on this channel because I go over it quite a bit. All right, after awareness, we get to research. Here's where you get them to your website. So you've made them aware somewhere on the internet through various methods. We covered a few examples, but now you're getting them to your website. Here you can engage this person by providing valuable content that positions you as the solution to their problem. It doesn't have to be your website. It can be your social media profile too, YouTube, that kind of thing. But I build websites for a living, so that's why I'm going to focus there. And the reason I love websites is because you own your website forever. Social media sites and their algorithms change all the time. Plus, your website, you can write it exactly the way you want it, lay it out exactly the way you want it, use the exact images you want. Social media, you're very limited by their platform. So you get them to your website and they're interested, and maybe they buy right now, which is awesome, but more often than not, they don't. But what if they don't buy and they just click away? That's not good, right? So that's where the next phase comes in. And these next couple of phases are really stretching out that ZMOT, that research phase, into manageable steps and processes, systems that capture these leads and turn them into buyers. We call this one subscription. You need a way to capture leads that are into you, but not quite ready to take that next step yet. This is where valuable lead generating assets come into play. This can be anything from a coupon to a video course and dozens of things in between. The important part is that they aren't leaving without raising their hand. Now, once they've raised their hand, they've given you an email address in exchange for a download, you can stay in touch with them. And this brings us to the nurture phase. Now that they've signed up for your list, you can start to deliver messages to overcome common objections and highlight the success of other people that have used your product. With each additional contact, you present a clear call to action, guiding them towards making a purchase or booking a service or whatever that call to action is. At Branderd, we help you write and automate compelling welcome email sequences. But this is definitely something you can do on your own, and there's lots of tools and resources for doing this. We love automation because these emails are being sent without lifting a finger. It's like a salesperson working for you around the clock. And that brings us to the purchase decision. Earlier we covered this as the first moment of truth. This is where you finally get a chance to jump on a call or give them a quote or sell them a product. You aren't dealing with a cold lead here, but a lead that is well aware of your brand and the solutions that you offer. And once they purchase, you continue to nurture the relationship by delivering an exceptional customer experience. And you might think this is the end, but it's not. The last phase of the sales funnel is feedback. And this is incredibly important because this gives you control over that final portion of the customer journey, that second moment of truth. We want to know how the customer is doing for two massively important reasons. One, if something is wrong with their service or product, we want the opportunity to make it right. Two, we want to get a testimonial and any referrals they might have for us. This is sales gold. Do not forget this. Ask for testimonials and referrals at the end of this process. So the reason it's called a funnel is simple, because it's shaped like a funnel. The reason we use a funnel as a metaphor is that you will lose people throughout the process. You narrow down the audience to those who actually buy as they move down through. There are many ways to optimize your funnel to keep as many people as possible. There are also many ways to re-engage with the people you lose along the way, but these are topics for other videos. However, there is no way to engage with these customers if they don't already have a sales funnel. That's why you need to have a sales funnel. Before I end this video, I want to share an example of how to supercharge your sales funnel with content. Earlier, we used a scenario where you were looking for a household budgeting app. But you probably didn't just discover that you should have a budgeting app overnight. You probably heard something somewhere to convince you of that. Maybe it was a friend, or, and this is next level, maybe it was like Dave Ramsey or You Need a Budget, also known as YNAB. Both of these companies have a budgeting app, and they also have massive followings. So if you're already in their ecosystem, you're more likely to buy that one. So this content plus sales funnel concept is like the sales funnel on steroids. It's the same concept, and it works for businesses of any size, from solo entrepreneurs to billion-dollar brands. People will think of you, your brand, when they're ready, if you're putting out content that drives them to a funnel and gets them engaged with your company. If your business is struggling to keep pace with an increasingly digital world, if sales are harder to come by and your website visitors aren't taking action, if you need to increase revenue and improve customer relationships, if you want a marketing strategy that can actually scale as your business grows, then you need a sales funnel. An easy first step is adding a lead generator to your website to start growing your email list. And if you want some fantastic ideas for creating a lead generator, get my 100 Irresistible Lead Generator Ideas workbook at thebranderd.com/100. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Thank you.